Boston's North End isn't just the city's oldest neighborhood. It's one of the most alive, flavorful, that's pun intended there, and unforgettable corners of Boston. If you're thinking about moving here, this neighborhood has a lifestyle unlike anywhere else. You have rich history around every corner. You have restaurants that people travel far and wide to experience, and you have a strong sense of community that's been here for generations. And in this video, we're not just talking about the lifestyle here. We're going to take you through some North End homes so you know exactly what it's like to live here. And make sure you stick around to the very end of this video. I'm going to share an insider tip that people kind of overlook when they first start considering this neighborhood, but it may completely change the way you think about Boston living. So let's get started. Hey everyone, my name is Mike O'Brien. I'm a Boston real estate agent and expert. Welcome back. If you're new here, I help people relocating to the Boston area get a real look at what it's like to live in some of these neighborhoods and not just what you see in the guidebooks. So today we're diving into the North End, which is Boston's very own Little Italy. It's one of the most iconic neighborhoods in the city, but what people don't realize is it's more than just the tourist stops and the cannoli shops. I mean, don't get me wrong, the cannolis are great, but again, it's more than the history and the restaurants and the bakeries. And people live here. It's a real day-to-day life here. So we're going to show you some actual homes here in the North End so you get a real sense of the character, the charm, again, everything that encompasses living in the North End, and of course the real estate market in 2025. So let's officially dive in. So North End is Boston's oldest residential neighborhood. And you feel that history the second you walk the streets or maybe just take a moment to sit down and take it all in like we're doing right now. We're talking about a place that's been continuously lived in since the 1600s. So before America was even a country, the North End was a thing. This is where Paul Revere lived. This is where the Old North Church is, where they signaled that famous 1 if by land, 2 if by sea for Paul Revere's ride. The British are coming, the British are coming, all those and all that. So you're literally walking through history every single day, whether it's the old colonial buildings and architecture here, the cobblestone streets, the gas light line streets, or walking in Paul Revere's mall. People from the North End, people throughout history that have shaped not only Boston, but the country overall. But what makes unique here is it's not just a museum. It's not like Colonial Williamsburg, where Colonial Williamsburg is literally an exhibit of what America and colonial America used to be like. It's not like a museum. It's alive. And unlike some other historic districts in some other cities where buildings are kind of frozen in time and maybe life is frozen in time, the North End has this incredible balance of history and daily life. And that has a lot to do with Hanover Street, and that the North End as a neighborhood is still such a destination. So people live in the brick townhouses that are centuries old, but still filled with that rhythm. Well, rhythm's a good word, I like that, of modern life. So you could walk your dog past Paul Revere's house on your morning stroll, then grab a coffee at the local cafe that's been owned by the same family for decades, generations, hey, maybe even more than a century, you never know. So you have that history, of course, because the North End has been continuously lived in, and it's the oldest residential neighborhood, like we said. But again, it is still a destination, and that's thanks in part to all the great restaurants here, all the great coffee shops, bakeries, bars, restaurants, comedy shows. So again, it's still very much a place that people come to enjoy life, for a night out, whatever it is. So for the people moving here, that blend of history and that balance with daily life, that's a huge draw, as well it should be. So it gives you that connection not only within the neighborhood here, because it is compact, it's a very compact neighborhood, but you have that connection to the neighborhood, you have that connection to the city of Boston, it's right over there, you have that connection to the past. And so it's one thing to kind of visit a landmark, it's one thing to visit history, be it Paul Revere's house or the Old North Church. It's another thing entirely to call it home, right? And so that's the huge draw of North End, is that you are in history, but you're not stuck in the past. It's very easy to call the North End home. Now, let's be honest. If you've heard of the North End, you probably have heard of the food scene here. And yes, let me tell you, it does live up to the hype. It's amazing. I mean, this is Boston's Little Italy, and the dining scene is unbelievable. The restaurants are unbelievable. The food is unbelievable. You've got Hanover Street, which again is the main thoroughfare that goes through the main street that goes through the North End, which is lined with some of the city's most famous restaurants. And you have Giacomo's, you have Strega, you have Limoncello, you have Bricco. The list goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go through all of them, but trust me, You have plenty on Hanover Street, but that's the beauty of the North End. It's not just Hanover Street, though it gets the notoriety being the main street that goes through the North End. But you can go down any side street, you can go down any little alleyway, and chances are you're going to find not just one, but more than a couple, maybe even many restaurants that are going to have amazing food. So maybe you're able to, when you steer off of Hanover Street, chances of finding a hidden gem are pretty high. So again, if you're a foodie, if you love, and it's not just Italian food, if you love any kind of cuisine, chances are you're going to find a great meal, a great spot for it here in the North End. But the beauty of it is, and the beauty of living here is you don't just go out to eat. I mean, you do, don't get me wrong, but you get to make it a part of your daily life. So imagine finishing work or just finishing up your day, whether you're working from home or you're working in the office, but you head downstairs, you head down the stairs, you head down the block, and you have your choice of trattorias, pizzerias, cafes, Italian restaurants, whatever cuisine you want. And it's not just about dinner. You can start your morning here with an espresso at a little cafe. You grab a loaf of bread from a local bakery. Maybe you pick up some handmade pasta from the corner shop. It's not just about the dinner here. And the dinners are great, but food, it can be such a part of your day, such a part of your daily routine when you live in the North End. Oh, yes. And so many options for meals throughout the North End. And then there's a dessert. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the dessert, correct? I mean, you have Mike's Pastry and Modern Pastry, which are the big names, kind of I'm from Philly originally, so I like to equate it to the Pats and Geno's of cheesesteaks. Well, Mike's Pastry and Modern Pastry are the Pats and Geno's of North End bakeries and cannolis as well. Those are the big names, but the locals will tell you there are dozens of smaller spots where you can grab an amazing cannoli without maybe the lines. Though you find the right time during the day, you can get in and out of both Mike's and Modern's. No lines to be had. So again, that's the beauty of being the resident. You get to learn the shortcuts. You get to learn the timing of it all. You get to learn the hidden gems, the places, again, that don't make the guidebooks. So if you're a foodie, and you're living in the North End, it means you just don't go out to dinner. You live in one of the best dining scenes, not only in Boston, but I think it's fair to say that you're in one of the best dining scenes in the entire country. But one of the biggest perks of living in the North End is its location right by the water. And you may say, wait, Mike, I don't see any water behind you, and that's fair. But we've walked a few blocks and we're at Christopher Columbus Park, which is right by the water. And it's got its famous trellis. It's got the gorgeous views of the Boston Harbor. Right now, we're sitting in the Fitzgerald Rose Garden. So a chance to see the roses and the various flora here and the beautiful flowers in bloom right now here on a lovely Boston day. So you get an opportunity on a beautiful day like this in Boston to come on down, enjoy the green space, enjoy the park, enjoy the Rose Garden, enjoy all the views and just being by the waterfront. And if you keep on going, if you take a break from Christopher Columbus Park and go just a little bit further, you're going to come across the Harbor Walk, which is a path that stretches along the waterfront. We talked about this in other videos on this channel. The Harbor Walk, which just stretches for miles and miles and miles, and basically goes along the waterfront, all along Boston and neighboring cities and neighboring neighborhoods as well. So you can enjoy the Harbor Walk. You go for a walk, a run. You can just come on down and enjoy the views. So again, the North End, this becomes your backyard, right? On a sunny day, again, I can't tell you how beautiful and nice it is here today. You can take your laptop down to the park, open it up, and work, I guess, in a way, but work in a very relaxing setting. You can meet your friends by the water. I saw someone getting their morning yoga in not too long ago. You could head out on your morning run. For me, it's probably going to be more of a morning jog, if we're being honest. So again, Christopher Columbus Park and the waterfront and the Harbor Walk all right there. And it's just one of the best spots in the city too. You can watch the sunset. You watch the sunrise, and depending on where you're sitting and the direction you're facing, you might be able to catch one or the other, depending what time of day it is, of course. Let's also not forget about the Greenway, which runs along the edge of the North End, and it's become a great location with gardens, with art. You have a lot of artist pop-ups there. Let's also not forget about the Greenway, which runs along the edge of the North End with its own set of gardens. You see a lot of pop-ups with local artists, local crafts, also a ton of seasonal food trucks along the Greenway as well. So living here in the North End, it really gives you the best of both worlds. And again, we see this a lot when you're talking about Boston and you talk about the different neighborhoods in different cities. But the best of both worlds in that you're in a bustling neighborhood with a lot of incredible energy, but you're also just blocks away from the peace and the calming views of the water and the harbor. So again, the North End gives you that access to that urban energy, but a few minutes walk down the road and you're right here enjoying the serenity of the sea. Now, the North End is one of the easiest neighborhoods to get around in all of Boston. And that's going to make a huge difference, obviously, in your day-to-day, into your daily routine. And these streets were laid out long before cars were ever a thing. So they're narrow, they're winding, they have a system of one-way streets, the rhyme or reason for which is often elusive. You could say they're filled with charm and character, and they are. And we've talked about this in the other videos that pertains to Boston and downtown Boston. And so it is with the North End as well, that whoever's designing these neighborhoods and these streets, the urban planner, wasn't exactly a fan of the grid system. But again, these were all designed well before cars were ever a thing. And so kind of layout reflects the paths, the walking paths, the car paths back in the day, right? So long story short, you don't need a car here. Parking can definitely be tight and definitely be a challenge here, especially with all the narrow streets, especially with all the one-way streets. So again, there are definitely people who have cars in Boston or in North End. It can definitely be an expensive prospect as well. But just coming back to it, you don't need a car here. So you can really walk to everything. Everything's seemingly just a short trip away. But it's a restaurant, coffee shops, your local butcher, maybe your local market. It's all really right around the corner. And so, like a lot of neighborhoods in Boston, and again, the North End is no exception, everything you need is kind of right here, and it's all very accessible. It's all very easy to get to. You can get to either side of North End, and it's just a couple minutes. So, going down the block to grab a bite, going down the block, or maybe the bottom of your staircase to grab a coffee. Again, it's all very accessible. And what's also great about the North End is it's just so surrounded by so many other major destinations, right? So you're just steps away from Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market, downtown Boston is just right across the road there. You have the financial district. You need to get to work in the city. You can walk it if you want to, take a blue bike, however you want to get there, maybe lickety split. So you want to catch a game at TD Garden, about 10 minutes to get there. So this level of convenience makes life so much easier. And it's one of the many reasons that people like the North End. It's not just about the food and the history, and those are definitely aspects, but you're close to a lot of things, not only within the North End, but surrounding it as well. So one thing I love about the North End is that it has this really tight-knit community feel. And part of that is just geographically, it is a tight-knit community. It's a small, compact neighborhood, especially when you compare it to other neighborhoods in Boston. So even though you're in the middle of Boston, it kind of feels like you're in a small town. At times it feels like it's this small little European town that's been just plopped right down in the middle of Boston. Perhaps appropriately so, since we're talking about Boston's version of Little Italy. But neighbors know each other. People stop to talk in the street. You see the same familiar faces at the cafes and markets, and the culture here is also incredible. The North End is known for its summer feasts, like the Feast of St. Anthony and Fisherman's Feast, and these are massive events where the whole neighborhood comes alive. Now, you think the North End is just vibrant in general. Wait till you attend one of these festivals. Things get vibrant. They turn up a notch. Streets are filled with music, parades, food stands, people celebrating together. If you've never been to something like this, you have to experience it. But as a resident, you're not just attending, you're part of it. You're living in it. So that sense of tradition and belonging can be rare in a big city, right? But the North End has managed to hold on to it. And it's a huge reason, and part of a huge reason, why people choose to live here. So I'm now in downtown Boston, about to walk into Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market. And I'm showing you this because I've made the arduous, oh so long, and yes, that is sarcasm, 2-block walk across Cross Street and JFK Surface Road from North End. Yes, the North End is right over there. Trust me, through all that flora and trees. That is the North End. And so, again, 2-block walk over and you're downtown. So another practical reason that people love living in this location, or that location, I should say, the North End. The North End connects you to almost everything in Boston. So again, short walk and you're into downtown. You've got multiple T stations within striking distance: Haymarket, North Station, Aquarium, Government Center. That means you can hop on the subway and get pretty much anywhere you need to go within the city in minutes. If you work downtown, it's almost laughable how quick that commute can be. So you can walk to the financial district in under 15 minutes. And if you love concerts, you can walk over to TD Garden. That's just literally a few blocks away. And instead of dealing with the traffic, you can stroll over, enjoy the show, and walk back home. So even if you don't live in the North End, I know what I like to do sometimes is, you're going out to grab a bite before a show, you're going to a game at TD Garden, and while the traffic is dispersing, just head over to North End, grab a bite, have a drink, at least wait for the traffic to die down. Sometimes it's just a easier place, less people to grab your ride share or whatever you're doing. So again, instead of dealing with the traffic, just roll down your steps, go enjoy the show or whatever you're doing downtown. And after the game or the show is over, you walk back home. So that's really an aspect of the North End that I don't think people really appreciate. I mean, again, we've talked so much about the neighborhood itself, the North End, and it's compact and everything is there. And so maybe it's a little bit insular, but there's so many other things to do, visit, go out for, just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So that is something I don't think people fully appreciate about the North End until you're in it. All right, taking a break from the sun here on this beautiful Boston day. I'm fair-skinned, I'm Irish, so found a shady spot, getting a break from the sun. But again, found a shady spot so I can have the opportunity to talk to you about the real estate side of things here in the North End, because it's not just a unique neighborhood, the market itself is unique as we go through 2025. Let's start to break it down a little bit. So home values in the North End are hovering just above $900,000, $905,000 to be exact, which is actually down slightly, 0.8% from last year. Now the median sale price, that's sitting closer to $844,000, which is actually 6% down from last year. And homes here are taking roughly on average 28 days to sell. So they're giving buyers a little more breathing room when you compare them to some of the faster moving neighborhoods when it comes to home sales in Boston. Now, on the listing side, a little bit of a different story. The median asking price there, over $1 million, $1.1 million on average, which reflects that many sellers are still trying to take advantage of this premium market, this Boston market, and aiming high. So the dip in closed sale price compared to the listing prices shows that while the North End is still very desirable, rightfully so, buyers have more negotiation power in 2025 than maybe they had a few years ago. And we're seeing that nationally, we're seeing that here in Boston, and so we're seeing it in the North End as well. So what does it mean if you're thinking about moving here? The North End definitely remains a premium destination, a premium neighborhood. People are paying for the location, the history, all the amenities involved, but this year's softer numbers could mean that there could be opportunities for buyers who are prepared, who are flexible, and working with the right strategy, and also working locally, of course, right? So in this video, let's actually take a look at some of these homes so you can start to picture what they look like and what your life might look like here in the North End. I'm very excited for the home tours we're about to take here, and I think, at least in my opinion, we're going to see two of the most unique units on the market right now in the North End, beginning with this one. Unit 5 at 243 North Street, 243 North Street. This is going to be the lower side of the price range when it comes to units in the North End, but it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit, 561 square feet. That's listing for $595,000, courtesy of Rodney Scott of Engel and Volkers. And when I say this unit has character, believe me, I'm not kidding you. You can take a look for yourself. Let's head inside. All right, let's head inside. And before we get to the living room and the kitchen and the bedroom, I just want to take a look at the bathroom real quick, because you have all this cool mosaic all around the bathroom and the shower tub combo as well. So there's so many cool aspects and details of this unit. And I really like that vanity and the cabinetry underneath. But let's back out. Let's take a look at the really open floor plan here. So it's over 500 square feet, but it plays more like over 600 square feet because you don't have any wasted space from a hallway or anything like that, but you do have the exposed brick. You have those nice tall windows, a lot of natural light. And so plenty of space for entertaining and relaxing at the end of the day. But I want to take you over here to the kitchen. What a chandelier. That was the first thing that jumped out at me when I was looking at this listing initially online. You have the exposed brick in the kitchen as well. Love this refrigerator. That's old school in the best way. You got the changing colors there with the wallpaper above the cabinets. Again, so many cool details and just little things about this place. We'll take one last sweep at the kitchen. We'll take one last sweep here of the living room. And then let's make our way to the bedroom. And again, you got this exposed brick. You're going to have the double wide closet there. But yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is indeed a king size bed that fits into this bedroom. So not only room for the king size bed, but plenty of space for furniture, even a little office here or work at home alcove if you want to have it. This is a unit here in the north end. And that definitely plays bigger than the square footage it says on paper. Make sure you come check it out. Let's head back out to the street. All right, guys, I'm at 46 Henchman Street. That's 4-6 Henchman Street in North End. About to go take a look at Unit 6. I'm so excited to see this home. It is one of the most unique condos, not only in the North End, but probably all of Boston. So 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, over 2,300 square feet. This is one of 10 units in the complex, but the only one with its own private entrance. It's listing for $1.39 million, courtesy of Chris Remis of Remis & Company. Guys, we need to head inside, take a look. Let's get going. All right, so you come in your private entrance down the staircase, and we'll get into this room in a little bit, but I want to head upstairs first. And you'll see why I wanted to finish up downstairs at the very end. But let's head upstairs. And already, great wainscoting here along the walls. Love these railings and the work here. So first, let's head to the guest bedroom on this second floor. So bunk beds here, but plenty of room for whatever size bed you have. How about these custom drawers, huh? These built-ins, fantastic. You have the double wide closet with the custom shelving. And then you have this little work from home alcove. So a really nice sized guest bedroom here with a lot of great aspects to it. Let's go across the hall to the guest bathroom, if you will. Fun tile work there that needs to be pointed out. Your vanity, shower tub combo, like the built-in shelf there. Nice shower head, and the tile work is fantastic. And then here's your vanity, ton of storage in this bathroom, not only under the sink, but the side as well. So that's great to see. You're not gonna be lacking for storage space in this home. You'll see as we go through it. By the way, you know me, I always pause for the in-unit laundry. And then let's head now to the primary bedroom. And so much space. Also, need to note the molding and wainscoting on the ceiling as well. Oh, it looks great. But so much room for whatever size bed and really whatever furniture you need in here. So just over 1,100 square feet overall on this floor specifically. And then you have the ensuite California closets. Just fantastic. So again, that old joke, you know, if I lived here with my wife. How much of this closet would I actually get? Well, I think it'd be okay. Plenty of space. Now let's go to the ensuite bathroom, where the toilet does open automatically. Let's take a look at the shower, because you have the jets, 4 jets, again, dual shower heads, the built-in seat. And between the shower heads and these jets, you're going to be well cleansed, for sure. You're going to be clean when you step out of the shower. You have the dual vanities and medicine cabinets as well. The marble there. You have your own jacuzzi tub with the marble on top of that. And hey, little TV there. Watch what you want while you're relaxing. So that is your primary bedroom suite. I don't think you're really lacking for anything as we take one last swing. I mean, you have everything you need. Now let's head back downstairs. And again, you're going to see why I want to finish up on the first floor. So let's begin with this open floor plan, living room into the kitchen. On this floor, you have exactly 1,200 square feet, but so much space and like a good setup space for entertaining. And they have this set up very well. Then you come to the fireplace, not only with the marble, the marble wall behind it, but then you have the marble trim. Let's take a closer look. So not a real fireplace, but still fireplace. Then you come to the kitchen with this marvelous marble island, marble countertops, marble backsplash, stainless steel appliances, ton of cabinets, cupboards, drawers. Not only over the countertops, but then you also have them on the, or under the island as well. So, you know, between the closets up top and all the storage here in the kitchen, you're not lacking for storage, for sure. So let's take one last sweep of this open floor plan kitchen living room combination. Now, little dining room area real quick, designated dining room. We'll get to that bathroom in a moment, but bedroom here on this first floor. So again, double wide closet and good space down here as well. So before we finish up in that area, let's go to the first floor bathroom. Love this vanity and the stonework here throughout the bathroom. This toilet lid does not open automatically. That's okay. And this shower, I mean, unfortunately, it only has 3 jets. I think we'll be okay, but again, dual shower heads and the great marble work in this shower. Tile as well. Take another look at the bathroom vanity, but let's spin around because you have your own private sauna. So again, I just keep coming back to what doesn't this unit have? Now we come to the dining room and you're probably thinking, why are we finishing up here? And why are you going over to this bookshelf? I mean, you know, built-in bookshelf, fine, all well and good. No, guys. Your own speakeasy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at this. I mean, just for this room alone, I mean, before we even get to the sauna, jacuzzi tubs, the California closets, all the great marble work, that great kitchen, you have your own speakeasy. And need to show you this great accent wall in the back with all the old school posters. I mean, it makes me wish I'd brought a bottle of something to break open and enjoy, because I mean, when you step into your own speakeasy and you're not enjoying the benefits of the speakeasy, what are you doing? But this is fantastic. I figured you guys would enjoy this. So, like I said, this is one of the coolest units I've been in this year. This might be one of the coolest units, not only in the North End, but in Boston overall. So again, 46 Henchman Street, Unit 6. All right, let's head back outside. Another thing that makes the North End just an incredible place to live are all the hidden nooks, crannies, spots, corners that you're going to discover and find only once you start living here, or you come on a tour with me. You know, we've been going on a tour in the North End, trying to take you around the neighborhood, and you find this great little staircase right here that leads up to Copp's Hill Burying Ground. But then you turn the other way, and you got the playgrounds, you got the harbor right behind me, and so these are little spots that you're going to find once you live in the North End and you start exploring and start discovering. So we talked about the Copp's Hill Burying Ground, which is not only historic, but also has those incredible views over the harbor, and just a wonderful place to kind of get lost for a couple hours or maybe even a day. You're going to have those small coffee shops, those small espresso bars that are tucked and the side streets. We talked about this a little bit earlier when we were discussing food, how, you know, you go down a side street, you go down a different alley, and you're going to find your spots. You're going to find your coffee spot, maybe where other locals are meeting up for a quick coffee. You're going to find your restaurants that aren't the ones that maybe everyone is going to, or everyone from out of town or out of the neighborhood are going to. You're going to find your local shop. Again, like your local butcher. You're going to find your people here. And on top of that, you come down this way and you find the parks here where you can play softball, you can play baseball, soccer. They got the bocce courts down here. They have the basketball courts, or you can just relax by the water. That's available to you as well. So all these little details really add up to your daily life here and building a full daily life, because it's not just about the big attractions, all the great bakeries and historical landmarks and restaurants. It's about, it's about the daily routine, the rhythm. I've said that a couple times already, the rhythm of your neighborhood. And living in the North End, between the history, the accessibility, and finding the spots that become yours, it means your days are filled up with these kind of like small, memorable moments that are unique to you and your life in the North End. So almost at the end here. I appreciate you sticking around until the end of this video. So here is the insider tip that I promised and I mentioned earlier in the video. One thing that people don't realize until they move to North End is how much of life in this neighborhood is spent outside of your home, because many of the apartments and condos and homes here, smaller side, they are smaller compared to other neighborhoods in Boston. And so I think more so compared to other neighborhoods in Boston, people just naturally spend more time out in the community. That means you're going to see people meeting out for dinner, maybe multiple nights, meeting friends, grabbing coffee with neighbors, or just hanging out in the park or by the waterfront, right? So it's not just your home that is a place for you to relax. Really, the entire North End becomes your living room and a place to unwind and relax and have a good time if needed. So when you're living in the North End, it's not just about buying a home and living in your home in the North End. You're really buying and living in a lifestyle, more so than any other neighborhood in Boston. So when you look at it all, the history, the food, the waterfront, the accessibility, that sense of community, and even the current real estate market, you can see why the North End is one of Boston's most desirable neighborhoods. You've got this incredible balance of energy and intimacy and tradition and history and modern living. And if you're considering a move to Boston, then the North End might just be the neighborhood that gives you everything you're looking for. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss any of the neighborhood guides that we put out. And if you're ready to start exploring Boston, maybe the North End in particular, you can DM me on Instagram at Mike O'Brien Homes, or email me directly at mikeobrienhomes@gmail.com. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you stick around for the next one on the Moving to Boston playlist here, where you get even more insights about what Boston is like and what it's like to move here. So thanks for watching again. We'll see you in the next one.